That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Next we move on to Superman Earth 1, Volume 3. I did Volume 2 a couple weeks ago. I'll put a link down in the description. This is good. I'm really enjoying JMS's take on Superman. I really would have liked to see him continue his run on the Superman comics with that whole walkabout thing that he did right before the New 52 started up. He handed it off to someone else, and I heard as soon as they left the book, and that's not surprising because, you can't always just be the one to plot a book. You need to be there to help see it along, if you will. But this stuff, his Earth 1 stuff, might very well be worth it. I could see making a franchise out of this. You need, obviously, to make it a little longer, a movie franchise out of this. You need, obviously, to make it a little longer to fit the time frame, but there's so much in here. You could fill that out with, some cool side action scenes, add maybe a subplot with another villain or something in each book, and you've got a lot going on here. I'll make a joke later. But there's one thing about this that I don't really need to see in a movie series, but I'll make a joke about that later. So the premise of this is that Zod appears on Earth and is able to turn the people against Superman because of their natural fear of him after what he did in the last book by overthrowing a government. And so they're funding the Luthor couple's research into ways to defeat Superman using some kind of red sun ray that'll, temporarily take away his powers. And there's a Superman signal, which I think it's funny that we get a Superman signal before we get a Bat signal, but I'll get back to that. So Zod is simultaneously turning people against Superman while at the same time, making Superman think that he can be trusted because he's some kind of, I think he tells Superman that he's his uncle or something. And he does it he gives it just enough time to make it so that Superman can fact check it, but he doesn't have the chance to because of everything else that's going on. So what Zod does is he convinces humanity to make sure that they don't assist Superman in any way, shape, or form. It's not that he actively gets them to, help him kill Superman or anything. He just gets them to turn a blind eye for long enough that he can go do his thing, which is pretty clever of him. He doesn't ask for help killing him. He tells them that Superman's family has been these, horrible criminals on his planet, yada, yada, yada. There's also some good stuff with Lois Lane in this, but I'll get back to that. So Superman and Zod have their fight, and Zod's just murdering him because Lex, in the middle of the fight, shoots Superman with the ray to take away his powers. But Lex, seeing what Zod's doing, immediately realizes what a mistake that was, and decides that the right thing to do, the correct thing to do, would be to turn the weapon against Zod. But doing that leads to Lex Luthor's death. And that's brilliant, because it's what we use to set up a different Lex Luthor. You always expect Lex Luthor to become the evil bad guy thing that hates Superman. And we get that, but it's actually his wife, Alexandra Luthor, who at the end of the book says to call her Lex. There's this moment during the fight where Clark's just absolutely sure he's going to die. And so he stumbles into a bar real quick. Because, you want to drink now. He stumbles into a bar real quick. And he says, cell phone, please. Stay back, stay away, in case he. And then he calls someone. And it's his mom. She says, hello? And he goes, Mom, it's me. She says, Clark? Oh my God, Clark, I don't have time. Superman, I don't have time. I just wanted to say, I love you, Mom. And she says, Clark, oh God, I love you. And he says goodbye and smashes the phone. Ah, that's so good. That's such a great Superman moment where he calls his mom. It's a really touching thing. And the girl from the last book, the one-time prostitute, ends up like figuring out who Clark is by happenstance because he keeps his costume in his closet. Figures out who Clark is and is actually, because she's in love with him, is actually able to help him out and doesn't try to like use that against him or anything. Just such a good book. God. Alexandra Luthor ends up killing Zod in this, which is interesting. I really like this. This was just a lot of fun to read. And then, she tries to kill Clark, but his powers have come back enough, and so she's decided that she has a vendetta against him because it's Clark's fault that Lex Luthor died. But then Clark gets to give or Superman gets to give a really cool speech to the UN where he talks about, like, you guys are fucking crazy. Why would you trust him? Anyone that can take down me is going to be able to put a lot of hurt on you. I haven't done anything to deserve this kind of behavior yet. I know I scared you with taking over that dictator. I realize now that was the wrong decision, and I promise I won't do anything like that again. But at the same time, don't be stupid and just hand over power to someone that might be well worse than me. You don't even know how much of a threat I am, and so far I've done nothing to be a threat to you. That's like this whole speech that he gives to him. And, oh my god, it was so good. And then we get some really touching stuff where he takes the girl. I can never remember her goddamn name. Lisa. Okay, Lisa. That's her name, Lisa. He takes Lisa home to meet his mom for dinner, which is it's just sweet. And then at the end we find out that kryptonite that Zod came with and used to get the upper hand on Superman at first was used or was stolen from his ship. My biggest complaint with this is the last two volumes we got the articles, or at least part of the articles that Clark Kent and Lois Lane were writing on Superman or things related to Superman. And with how big a deal the journalistic career of Clark Kent was in the last book, I was very disappointed not to get another article here where he did more hard journalism stuff, but you take what you can get. Another touch I like is that Lex Luthor, instead of being a businessman in this, we're used to him now, is just a scientist. I think that's really clever because, classic Lex Luthor was just a mad scientist. So, in this new version of Earth 1, we have scientist Lex Luthor again. So I thought that was pretty smart. I don't know how much I have to say about this. It's just a really good, really touching Superman story, and I don't know why. I've heard people don't like this take on him, and I think it's brilliant. I think this is really good Superman stuff, and most importantly, he is Superman. There's no, he's not finding himself anymore or anything. He is being Superman, and he's making mistakes, I'll give you, but he's still being Superman 100% through and through, and that's just really enjoyable to see here. If you haven't picked these up yet, do yourself a favor. If you're a Superman fan, or even if you're not, this is a really good way to just get at the heart of who Superman is, and I really enjoy that about it. Steve, I thank you for recommending these.
That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.